Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everyone, and hello, Draculetta. And let us head into our game news for this week. There isn't much, but let's see what we do have. No Worries gives us a first look at U31 named loot. That means that we can have a look at all the fun loot that's never going to drop for Draculetta.
This is true. Very, very true. And, the title of this is kind of misleading. It should be the Update 31 loot that will soon have names that we don't know yet. Because this actually, it's the named loot that's going to be there, but there's no names for it yet. It's just the stats for the loot. So
okay,
he kind of stretched his title out a bit to get everybody excited, and then it's like, but there's no names for it yet. But there is some good loot in here, though.
Oh, wait, how does he know what this is the type of loot that's coming up?
Because he's the one that designs the loot.
So he was teasing us.
Yes, he is teasing us. That's right.
Okay.
Oh, no worries in his teases. So yeah, it looks like Update 31, the new quests that are going to be included in that will have Heroic level 13, 15, and 17 items. And then the legendaries will be 28. And there is some interesting loot for sure in here. Let's see if I can pick one out. There is a pretty decent trinket, I thought. Gives you quality con +1, enhancement false life +32, insightful fortitude saves of +3, and enhancement to your fire resist +32, and a green augment slot. I thought that was pretty decent.
All right, that sounds pretty decent.
And there is a nice belt in there too. Negative energy amp +33, boon of undeath, enhancement light resist +32, and quality int +1, plus the green augment slot. So you can go ahead and look over in our show notes and take a look at all this loot for yourself. And see if there's anything you like that you're going to try to get that the Wicked RNG might drop for you, but not for me.
Now, is there a reason why these things tend to have green slots?
I'm not sure why they went with green this time, but I did notice that is the overall slot this time is green, so I don't know what they're thinking with that. Maybe that is a question we will have to ask Turbine.
Ooh.
Why are you putting green slots on the loot? To my knowledge, there's nothing, overly all special about the green slot. It's just, it has been a while, though, since I think I've seen any new items, I should clarify that did use a green slot. So maybe they're just trying to spread the augment love around a little bit. And this time it's green.
Well then, let's then head into Massively Overpowered, whose perfect 10 article this week is What I Loved About Dungeons & Dragons Online. Sort of a top 10 things that he likes about it?
Yes, it is. And this is from Justin Sip Alabetti. And he does, as you just said, he lists his top 10 things that he loved about DDO. And I would have to say he is spot on with his choices. His number one choice is the Dungeon Master narration, which I will definitely agree with Sip there.
Out of curiosity, do they have Dungeon Master narrations in Neverwinter?
Sort of.
Sort of?
Not to the extent that DDO does.
All right.
It's kind of weird, so I'll just say sort of. If you want the full-on Dungeon Master experience, DDO's the way to go.
Okay, so, and I noticed that that in his number one, he had this intentional error based on the parenthetical remark after it.
Yeah. Yeah, Sip did a pretty good troll, so you'll have to read the article. We don't want to spoil it, so go over to Massively OP and read that. Number two, he said he liked the dungeon-centric gameplay.
If you're going to do D&D, dungeon-centric is the way to go.
Exactly. You got to have a dungeon crawl when you're playing D&D. He liked the party puzzles for his number 3 choice, the action combat at number 4. And that brought up a good point. I don't think that the combat in DDO gets enough, I can't think of the word I want to use, conversation or talk as much. This game, as everybody knows, because if you listen to this podcast, chances are you are a DDO player. I do know we do have a few people that listen just for our from the dungeon in our tabletop segments. But I would say a vast majority of our audience actually does play DDO. And you know how awesome the action combat is in DDO. Can you name me one game, Pine Leaf, that the combat, that was a Freudian slip, that the combat is even halfway close to DDO's combat? You can't do it, can you?
Not really.
Because it has such vastly different combat than most other MMOs. So I'm glad Sip pointed that out in his article. He talks about his love of the non-combat skills, the build variety you can do, the different take on the fantasy genre, the health mechanic, the tight-knit community, which I have to say DDO's community rocks, and how they pioneered a new business model. That is Sip's Top 10. Head over to the Massively OP article and read, because he does put a little blurb about why he picked such things for that number. So give it a read, but it's always good to see DDO getting some press, even when it's not about, a new update or anything. So good job, Sip, on your article.
Right, then let's head to the DDO Chronicle, issue 187, which has highlighted on its front a disembodied head.
Oh, Vargwheel, the floating bat head. Let's see my screen. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. My computer freaked out on me for some reason. Jadiff has a new weapon comparison spreadsheet, so click over and check that out. If you want to compare a bunch of weapons, if you're into the crunchy stuff, that is the spreadsheet for you. Even Note, who has guested on the show before, she grabbed a video of almost all of the creature companion tricks. So if you're curious about what a creature companion does for their tricks, check her video out, because as we know, Even Note has all but 3 of the creature companions, which is still just insane.
Do you know if she's amended that situation yet?
I think she did get one. I think she got, I can't remember the one she got. The Hellhound, I think she got. So now I think she only needs 2. She's down to 2. That is just insane that she has all of the creature companions but 2. But awesome job on the video, Even Note, so go check that out. And we will turn to our Chronicle comment of the week. Pineleaf, the question for you is, if your favorite character was the star of a 1980s action movie, what would the name of the movie be?
Of a 1980s action movie. Let's see.
In chat room, you can chime in as well if you would like.
All right, let's see then.
See, but now your problem is you have to think of, okay, what's my favorite character?
Yeah, that's the
tricky bit.
Let's see. So therefore,
and Brack Barefoot in the chat is asking, have you ever seen any 1980 movies? Oh, the chat room's calling you out, Pineleaf.
Well, let's face it. If I remember correctly, Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. Did it come in 1980 or 79? Was that?
I think Empire was 80.
Yeah, 19. Yeah, I thought that was 1980. Right, and with 83 being for Return of the Jedi. See, we had at least a couple of the Indiana Jones movies would have been from that time period. I tried to think if Princess Bride was... Yeah, I think Princess Bride was late 80s, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
87, 88, something like that.
And Dragon Fighter was probably in that mid...
But you haven't seen Goonies and you haven't seen Labyrinth, though. I'm still just floored by I cannot get away from the fact that you have not seen 2 of the seminal movies of the 80s. Oh, Pineleaf.
Well, apparently I must have missed the ads. Well, the name The Goonies doesn't exactly have a watch me sound to the title.
Goonies never say die, Pineleaf. Yeah, you don't get it. So
okay.
And Saba Jade said she is with you on that. So apparently we have yet another person that is now dead to me that has not seen the Goonies.
Okay, so the only thing I could think of right now is the Princess Pine.
The Princess Pine. Okay.
Yeah.
I like how you tied your character's name into it.
Yeah.
Good. I'll take that, Pineleaf.
Okay.
Mine, of course, would be for my rogue. So mine's going to be called Sneaky, Sneaky, Stabby, Stabby.
All right.
So there you go. In the fan site news of the Chronicle this week, DDO Cast has a debate about the 10th anniversary party. So check the latest edition of the DDO debates. It's up on their site now. Jeff over at DDO Gamer is still designing his DDO card game. And I do have to send him an email because I want him on the show to talk about this card game because it's genius, I'm telling you. And the Shady Rogues are battling the Cult of the Six in one of their newest episodes. And, of course, Even is celebrating the anniversary for one last time. And that will do it for our Chronicle this week.
And it looks like that the screenshot of the week is not a good tenable place to be standing, I think.
You kind of teetering on the edge there. Looks like they're walking the plank.
Yeah. Then let's head into our store sales this week. And is there anything exciting that is going to have you jumping up and down for sale?
Well, you personally, probably not. But I do know a lot of people are excited because True Hearts of Wood and Lesser Hearts of Wood are 20% off in the store through April 28th. We also have the Quest XP elixirs, the healing items, and the spell point potions all at 20% off. And the free sample of the week is the Bracelet of Friends. Use the coupon code that you can get in the show notes. And as always, one of those codes per account, so choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Let's then head into our site news. And DDO player screenshot of the week number 40. Oh, we are getting close to number 50.
We are.
I hope you have something special for number 50.
Okay. A little insider baseball for you. We don't have anything yet.
Okay.
So it'll be special when I figure out what it's going to be for next week. So if you have a screenshot that you want to see being the number 50th, now's your shot because we don't have any in the queue. Send that to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And I can almost guarantee you we will feature your screenshot as number 50 because, as I said, we don't have any waiting. And I haven't taken any lately, so I've been a slacker.
So we'll see if 5 people all send them in at the same time.
We will see. And then once again, if that does happen, whoever's email I get first, that'll be the one that's featured because I do them in the order which they are received to make it fair. But this one comes from Brian, and he says, Seekin is watching the sunset in Three Barrel Cove. And I think we've said this before because we featured other sunset-type screenshots before. DDO does some awesome sunsets. And one of the better ones you can find is in Three Barrel Cove. So this is a pretty good screenshot, I think. I like this one. And Brian also says, keep up the fun in the podcast. So thanks for that, Brian.
All right, then let's head into our DDO players block by block, out of order games interview.
Yes, we did post, which we will be talking about later in our tabletop section, about an upcoming Kickstarter that is actually active now, I should say. The game is called Block by Block, the Insurrection Game by Out of Order Games. And I had a chance to sit down and chat with one of the co-designers of the game, Tim Simmons. We cover the game in general, some thoughts on how they made the game, and some of the, we'll say, controversy that is probably going to come up around the game because it's a little bit controversial. So
controversial? What could be controversial about the game?
Well, there's quite a few things. Finally, we'll talk about that in the tabletop section.
Okay,
because I do cover some of that in the preview review and then in the interview, but. Check it out. It was a good time, and I want to thank them for taking some time out to give a little talk with us. So check that interview out now, and that is on our YouTube feed, and it's also in the podcast feed as an audio-only version as well. So you can listen to it one of 2 ways.
Then let's look at what is crawling out from the dungeon.
Ooh, that sounds very scary, Piley, when you put it that way.
Well, when you consider that we have this Dungeonology book with a mind flare on the front.
Well, yeah. But I don't think mind flayers crawl. That's kind of beneath a mind flayer, though.
Well,
they would stride out of the dungeon, I think.
True, but it's the people fleeing from the mind flare that have been sapped of their will that would be crawling out.
True, that is true. Well, do you remember a couple of weeks ago, Pine Leaf, we were talking about how there was going to be a Dungeonology book, and there was going to be a coloring book that was coming out in England?
Right, I remember that.
Well, it's now coming to the United States as well.
Ooh.
Candlewick Press, which is an imprint of Penguin Random House, is going to be releasing the Dungeonology book, and that is written by Matt Forbeck. who, if you have read any fantasy books within the past, say 10 years, you will know that name because he has written some awesome books. And the Dungeonology, that is a hard word to pronounce. The Dungeonology book is going to be the story. We'll give you a guided tour of the Forgotten Realms by some wizard named Elminster. No idea who that hack is.
Yeah.
He's going to be the tour guide.
I think we might have run into him once or twice when we were playing on the other side of that portal.
Yeah, just kind of, standing around doing nothing. Yeah, that's Elminster. Well, he's going to take you on a tour of the realms. The book is going to go into detail about some sites, including the Dreaming Spires of Waterdeep, the Frozen Majesty of Dresden Icewind Dale, and readers are going to be introduced to the history, secrets, and wonders of the realms. Look for this 30-page hardcover book, and that should give you a clue right there that it is for the teen and preteen market. So it's only 30 pages long, but it still sounds like it's an awesome book. It is available for pre-order right now up on Amazon. Look for that November 1st. And the coloring book is coming out as well. Go on a journey through the fabled Forgotten Realms and color an array of monsters, rogues, heroes, and villains. It is entitled The Monsters and Heroes of the Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons coloring book. It's a treasure trove of illustrations summoned from the pages of the official D&D manuals, and it also will feature never-before-seen artwork, and it will include 16 pages of inspirational full-color illustrations so you can look at how crappy your coloring is compared to the illustrations you're going to see. And that as well is up on Amazon for pre-order. That's listed for a September 6th release.
What they would have to do is that they would have not only give the official looking stuff, but also have a copy of mine. And inevitably, theirs will be somewhere in between.
Just remember, Pineleaf, the most important key is color within the lines.
I heard rumor of that.
Unless you're one of those people that color outside the lines. If not, there's nothing wrong with that.
If you do it intentionally.
I'm going to leave that there.
Okay. Let's see what's on the tabletop.
I'm going to get myself in trouble if I talk, so
right.
I'll just...
And speaking of tabletop, the game list for Tabletop Season 4 has been announced, and this list looks awesome.
It does look awesome. I agree with you. He's got some good games. And I did see on Twitter today, they started filming this season as well. So the games you're going to be seeing on Season 4 at Tabletop is going to include Lanterns, The Fury of Dracula.
You must love that one.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, which edition? I guess the latest edition?
Yeah, the newest one.
Okay.
Mysterium, Codenames, Fate Core.
Ooh, that's going to sound interesting.
Dragonfarkle, which I didn't even know there was a Dragonfarkle. So.
I think it's recently been released.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I did not know it even existed. Flashpoint, Harbor.
Oh, you want to put out some fires?
Of course. Eldritch Horror. We probably got some fires to put out in that. Star Realms, Monarch. The Star Trek 5-year mission, Champions of Midgard, Steam Park, Tiny Epic Galleries, Welcome to the Dungeon, and Miss Repent Youth.
Miss Repent?
And Will Wheaton says about this season, I wanted to play games that were accessible to families, indie games, and more RPGs, and at least one or two games that broke the rules. I usually use to choose the games that we play.
I think Star Realms has to be one of the ones that's breaking the usual rules because a 2-player game I don't think I've ever seen on tabletop.
Yeah, I wondered about that, how they were going to do that, so we'll have to see. So, and as I said, they did start filming that today. I saw via Twitter. I saw a couple different tweets to that effect. So no word when the season will start, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say right around Gen Con or soon after. I'm just guessing. I have no basis in that guess. That's what my gut feeling is.
And any word yet on the status of the second season for
Titan's Grave?
Yeah,
no. There was no update other than we did talk about it a while ago. So it did get greenlit. It is in the process, so I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to try to get Tabletop filmed and out of the way first.
That's a possibility.
Because I would think the fantasy, or the Titan's Grave is a little more intensive to shoot than what tabletop would be. I'm just guessing, but maybe not, because tabletop is pretty involved too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Tabletop is going to be very intensive for the ones who are going to be in many episodes, like Will Wheaton. The ones who are going to be there for 1 or 2 episodes, it's not going to be as intense for them, I think. But Titan's Grave, it's the same people for several episodes and a very intense storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with the story this year, because the way it ended last year was such a cliffhanger. So can't wait to see what they do.
And I'm going to see what he does to them in Fate Core.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
how are you going to... There has to be... You need at least 2 episodes to do that justice.
And Tabletop has done multiple episodes
Yeah.
of Fates before, so
usually
it's not
with
out
RPG,
of the realm.
so yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then Zombies Ultimate Collector Set coming from Twilight Creations.
Are you a big zombies collector, Pine Leaf? Do you have all your zombies just sitting around stacked up?
Not really.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of thinking that was going to be your answer. But see, if you would have all 14, soon to be 15 edition of zombies, you would need an awesome place to put them. Well, now you shall have it. Twilight Creations is bringing out a nice case that will fit all 15 sets. This is coming Halloween of this year. And Twilight Creation says, we originally wanted to do a Kickstarter on this, but to save you all the customer money, we will just be offering this up through our retailers as well as via direct sales. Hopefully these will be available by Halloween if all goes well. And there's no word on what the MSRP on it is going to be, but it's a pretty sweet looking case. And as I did say, it will hold all soon to be 15 editions of zombies.
Now, why do you need 15 zombies sets? I mean, aren't
because
zombies
they're
just
awesome.
Zombies?
No, each expansion added something different to zombies.
All right, and it sounds like that there's a soundtrack for it also?
Yes, that is coming from Midnight Syndicate, which if you are not familiar with Midnight Syndicate, you need to do yourself a favor, go to YouTube, look up Midnight Syndicate, and listen to their music, because it is freaking amazing. It's taken 13 years for them to get around to doing a soundtrack for zombies, but they decided to go ahead and do it. And founding member of Midnight Syndicate, Edward Douglas, has to say about the project, I'm a big fan of zombies, and with the game celebrating its 15th anniversary in 2016, this seemed like the perfect time to undertake this project. We are closely working with the Twilight team to create something that really enhances the player's gaming experience. I think this album will also resonate with our fans in the Halloween and haunted house industries. So look for another spooky soundtrack coming up from Midnight Syndicate for zombies. So next time you break out your zombies and you're playing your game, you can have some spooky zombie music to go along to set the mood. Once again, we'll keep you updated on this. There's no word on when this will come out or any price yet, but they're hoping to have this out about the same time as the Ultimate Collector set.
Right then. Then let's get back to block by block, and we can discuss what was so special about this Kickstarter.
It is very controversial. You want to know why it is controversial?
Yeah.
The point of the game is you are in a city, and the city is run by a corrupt government. So you are joining with a group of fellow players, I should say, to join in a growing rebellion, and you are working to overtake the city. You're trying to occupy the city and keep the state from stopping you from doing so.
And I see that one of the things you'll be doing all through here is looting.
Yes, that is, and in the interview that I did with them, we did talk about that. That is one of the most controversial things that a lot of people are having a problem with. And I did bring this up in the interview, but I'll talk about it here now. I told them I don't understand why this is so controversial, because there's a lot of games that you loot in. Dead of Winter, for example.
Well, but Dead of Winter is in a zombie apocalypse.
Right, and that's exactly what we talked about in the interview. It's because this game is based in real life, and you can see where they drew inspiration from. And this is, it's not any particular city per se. It's not like you're in, Miami or you're in Los Angeles or what have you. It's the city has no name. You're just in the city. But you can see how this is based in real life. And there is AI-controlled police, and they will pursue you throughout the game, and they will defend the city at any means necessary, so take that for what you will. And to complicate things just a bit, each faction also has a secret agenda.
Of course.
Yeah, see, you got to have a secret agenda. To have a good game, you must have a secret agenda. So you don't know if the people you're playing with are actually trying to help you or hurt you, because it depends on what their secret agenda is. They might want you to succeed, or they might want you to fail so they can succeed. And the one thing I liked best about the game is they did a modular tile placement, so no two games will ever be the same the way that you place tiles. So that is really adding to the replayability of the game. It is up on Kickstarter right now, and as of this recording of this podcast, they have 22 days to go. And for some reason, my webpage just closed. Bad computer, bad. Hold on. Pause. They're at 361 backers with 22 days to go, and they are 20,432 of their $35,000 goal. So
it sounds like they're making that one.
I think they'll make it, yeah, because they've been they kind of had a rush at the beginning, which this is how. Sorry, I had to pause there to cough. Most games on Kickstarter, I've kind of seen that does this. They have a rush right at the beginning, and then they kind of have a lull, and then they get the push towards the end where they get on their money if they don't, fund at first. So I think this will fund. So check it out. Also check out our interview with them, and it's a fun game. I liked it, and I was actually surprised because I usually don't like the overthrow the government type games, but I really enjoyed this when I was playing the prototype version that they kindly sent to me. So we want to extend a big thanks to Out of Order Games for extending that copy to us to play. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
So therefore, what you're going to do when you play block by block is have a great deal of blood and plunder?
Well played, Pineley. That was excellent, sir.
And in case you're wondering, that's because Blood and Plunder is another game that's up on Kickstarter, and it looks like it involves pirates, which is usually a little bit less controversial.
Arg and Walk the Plank and Avashti mateys and all that?
That's what it sounds like.
Did I scare you with my pirate talk finally?
Not really. I think you maybe went something like, Arr, Miggies!
Wow, okay. Okay, Pineleaf wins the Pirate Accent of the Day contest. Good job for that. Yes, this is from Firelock Games. And this is freaking amazing. If you want to have a miniatures battle that looks realistic, this is the game for you. And they are working with historians to make sure that this is historically accurate as well. The Kickstarter is active now. They shattered their goal a long time ago. They too have 22 days to go. They are at 121,000 of their $15,000 goal. So right now they're working on getting those stretch goals in. But I'm telling you, these minis look amazing. I cannot believe the detail that they are putting into this game. So they have a nice little video up on their Kickstarter page that kind of shows you some gameplay. But if you want to be a pirate and go plunder things, then this is the game for you. They even have ships, Pineleaf. You can walk the plank, Pineleaf. How awesome is that?
How awesome is that?
So check out Blood and Plunder up on Kickstarter from Firelock Games.
Right. Then let's head into Dark Souls, the board game, is also on Kickstarter. There's a lot of Kickstarters coming around.
There's a lot of Kickstarters. That is the place to go to get a board game funded. And you want to know a little trivia about the Dark Souls game, finally?
What?
Funded in 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes, finally.
Whee! And what exactly is Dark Souls?
You must not be familiar with the video game Dark Souls, then, are you?
I think I've probably encountered it a couple of times on ads on Steam.
All you need to know about Dark Souls is you're going to die, and you're going to die a lot.
Oh, one of those.
And you're going to die in many gruesome, horrible ways from horrible, horrible boss monsters. All you need to know about Dark Souls.
Okay.
But how they're going to take a video game and convert it into a board game beats me, but they're going to do it. And this game looks pretty awesome as well. And as I said in the article I put up, just get ready to die a lot because you're going to. This is a strategically challenging, deeply immersive combat exploration game for 1 to 4 players set in the Dark Souls universe. And as I said, just get ready to die because I guarantee that you're going to die because that's what Dark Souls is known for.
That's what it's known for. Okay.
And I think Night Fun has what I think everybody is thinking at this point in the chat room. He says, every time I try to save some money, I hear about some interesting Kickstarters.
See, that's what happens. Kickstarters just sucks the money right out of your wallet.
Well, yes. And speaking of Kickstarters that suck money out of your wallet, we also have the Dresden Files cooperative card game, which is also on Kickstarter. And I think that took a little bit more than 5 minutes to fund, but it is also fully funded. And they are working on their various stretch goals.
It was, I want to say, 2 hours, maybe, something like that, something around to them. But yeah, it's funded as well. And they have 23 days to go for that one. And yeah, they are way above their goals. So it's funded. And as you said, we're working on stretch goals. And I know you were kind of excited about this one.
Yeah.
Because you actually were talking about it way before I even knew it existed.
Right. And this particular one, they have actually the stretch goals. They've already completed the expansion stretch goals. In the base game, you have 5 of the stories of the novels that you could play through, and that there are 5 characters you could choose from, and each of the 3 expansions adds 2 additional ones. So if you have all the expansions, there are 11 books you could play, whose cards you could use, and 11 different characters you could choose from, including, of course, Harry Dresden.
Well, you can't have a Dresden game without Harry Dresden.
Well, of course not. And in fact, I think the rules they actually make it might be mandatory that you have them in there or something like that due to the Dresden Files. So yes, that's another one, and they're currently working on stretch goals that will get some advanced artwork shown up and is lowering the costs of the shipping because they're starting out with a $10 shipping, and each time they hit one of their stretch goals they've got right now, they're reducing that by $1. So if they reach all their stretch goals, which at the current pace is probably going to happen, they'll give you shipping for free.
Well, that's kind of an awesome thing. I don't think I've ever seen a Kickstarter do.
Yeah, and I was wondering why they had this rather strange way which they're handling shipping for this one, and it sounds strange until they indicate they came to their second set of stretch goals, and you learned that this was going to be happening because they calculated how much they need to have in game development and all that stuff in order to be able to afford to be able to eat up the shipping cost.
Okay.
And the other thing they're also having in this section are some alternate cards for some of the characters. See, because some of the characters have a certain set to them, and if they want to have a slightly different tweak set, then those are the types of things they have on the upcoming stretch goals.
And they're making money hand over fist, too, because every time I check it, it's like, oh, yeah, they're up another 10,000. Oh, now they're up 30,000. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, they're right now, they've completed 3 of those second level of stretch goals, and they're getting very close to the 4th one.
And plenty of more days to bust through more stretch
goals. And 23 more days in order to
I hope they got some more good ideas for more stretch goals, because it sounds like they're going to need them.
Well, we'll see what they have on that matter, and maybe have enhanced glow-in-the-dark fate dice for you. Because right now it looks like that the fate dice that they're including in the pack right now are just ordinary type flat color ones.
Oh, okay.
So I can imagine that if they hit all 10 of these, they maybe have one to have nicer looking fate dice in the sets instead. We'll see. And let's then head into Betrayal at the House on the Hill, Widow's Walk expansion coming in October.
Now, who would have thought, after all these years, we're getting an expansion for Betrayal on House on the Hill? But we are. Wizards of the Coast, via their Avalon Hill imprint, will be releasing the first expansion for the classic horror board game coming up on October 14th. And what you need to know about this is just some of the names that are involved in this project. I'm going to read you just a few names finally.
All right.
Peter Atkins. That should blow your mind right there.
Okay.
Keith Baker, Rodney Thompson, Keith Richmond, Those names alone should make you go, okay, fine, I'm going to buy this game. But if you're a fan of Betrayal on House on the Hill, which I have not played that for a long time, but I do seem to recall I did enjoy the game a lot. This expansion is going to require the original game to play. It's going to add 20 new room tiles, 30 new cards, which are going to be 8 omens, 11 events, and 11 items, 76 new tokens, 36 small circular explorer tokens, and 36 square event and room tokens. It's got a MSRP of $25, and as I said, it's a full-on expansion, so you must have the original base game to play. Coming from Wizards of the Coast, Avalon Hill in October 14th. And as of yet, it's not up for pre-order on Amazon that I know of, but as soon as it is on pre-order, we will be sure to link it for you.
Now, is Betrayal on the House on the Hill currently in print?
It is, yes. It has constantly been in print. Well, let me rephrase that. There was a slight span of time where it wasn't in print anymore, but now it is back in print. I have seen it boxed up in a store just recently.
Now, I had thought that there was at one point where there was an edition where there were an obnoxious number of typos.
There was. That is all fixed.
Oh, that's all fixed
Yes.
now.
Yep.
Okay. Then let's head into our week in DDO. And what were you up to, Drac?
I didn't do a lot this week, actually. I was busy with real life and other things, but I did do a little bit. I did hop on Wayfinder just to check out the old lag situation, and it was not bad, actually. I had a little bit of lag, but nothing like Wayfinder used to be or normally was, however you want to word that. So I did Walk the Butcher's Path. I did that on Elite on my level 7 Ranger I have on Wayfinder.
You were confident there.
I was very confident. And like I said, just towards the very end, I had a little bit of lag, but it wasn't too much. So that was fine. Then, of course, my Ranger that I have with you, I will let you, I mean, my Rogue, sorry, I forgot we switched characters. My level 4 Rogue, I will let you talk about. But I did something that was so amazing this week.
Ooh, yeah?
I was on Arganesson on my Wolflock, still sitting at level 20. I was asked by the damsels if I wanted to join up because they are working on getting Shroud flagged. So a couple weeks ago, we did the earlier quest, and we just had the Let Sleeping Dust Lie left. So I hopped on Argo with them, stayed up late to play with those girls, because I love playing with the damsels. It's so much fun, even though I have to stay up till like 3 in the morning, but it's all right. It was fun. So we did Let Sleeping Dust Lie. Didn't have any problems with that. We had this good system worked out great for us. Not a problem with that. So then Saba Jade, sweet Saba Jade, says, so Drac, I hear on your podcast that you don't like a new invasion. And then right then and there, as soon as she said that, I said, me and my stupid mouth, I gotta quit saying I don't like Quest on the show. Because every time I say I don't like a quest, the damsels make me do it.
Yeah.
So she's like, we're going to go do a new invasion. And that was the one, if you remember, I tried to do on my Wolflock by myself, and the boss just shredded me to bits. So Saba's like, oh, no, it's easy. We wouldn't have any problem.
No, it's easy, right.
So we go in there. And I am going to state unequivocally right now that we had the most epic party wipe you will ever witness in your life. It was epic. It was just, the only way to word it is just pure awesome epic.
Awesome epic party
I have
wipe.
linked the damsels page in the show notes, so you'll be able to go over and see the post the damsels put up on their site about it, and the video for this is linked. So just do yourself a favor and watch this video and watch our most epic party wipe ever. It was so much fun. I don't want to spoil anything. Just watch it. It's epic. I have not had so much fun playing DDO it's been a long time since I had this much fun. Even though we had a total party wipe, it was just, we were laughing so hard. I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard. It was just, I'm sorry, I hate to use the word epic because I know that word is bantied about a lot, but epic party wipe is all I'm going to say. Do yourself a favor, watch the video, and then report back to me and tell me that was not the most epic thing you have ever watched and the most fun you have ever seen people playing DDO because it was just awesome. So I want to thank the damsels for inviting me on, and they do plan on running a Shroud raid coming up. I'm hoping Saba will tell me when that was because I don't remember when it was. So if you are Shroud flagged on Arganescent and you would like to participate in that raid, let Saba or Lessa know, and if there's room in the raid, you can get on and do the Shroud with us. And I'm waiting. Saba's in the chat room, so I'm kind of stalling for time here, hoping she'll tell me when they plan on doing that. It was May something. A month from tomorrow, she says.
A month from tomorrow.
So once again, send either Saba or Lessa a mail and let them know if you're Shroud flagged, and you can join us as we run the Shroud. It should be fun.
All right. And
So
anything else?
that was it. That is all I did. Like I said, I didn't do much, but I'm telling you, that party wipe made up for. I couldn't have done anything that could top that. I had that is the most fun I've had playing DDO in I don't know how long. So watch the video. It's awesome.
Okay, then let's head into my gnome, which obviously my level 5 warlock, which with, of course, Drac. Or did we get the level 6 on that? Or I think we got the 6 at the end.
We did, right? Well, actually, you did. I didn't yet.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and you didn't have a chance to.
No, I will do that before Wednesday, though. I will get myself to 6. I want to say I'm like 1,000 experience away or something. I mean, I'm almost there, but I'm not quite.
Oh.
Which I'm still not exactly sure how you leveled before I did, because we're doing everything together with these characters. So I'm not sure but I think the only thing we figured out is you got some better rolls on your dice, and you got
what else is new?
Yeah, you got more experience on your dice. So you cheated, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I will get to 6 before next week, so we're even. But
very well, then.
What did we do with our little gnomes?
Okay, we essentially did several quests for the House Denise. Depths of Despair, Depths of Discord, Depths of Doom, Depths of Darkness, all that hard. Then we went into the Iron Mines, freeing Achka, which, since it was a level 6 quest, I decided to do that one at normal. And then we did Justice for Grust.
And am I incorrect in saying that is the first time you have done the Iron Mines?
I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've done that one.
Yeah, I think you had said that. And I said, well, we need to do the Iron Mines then.
We need to do the Iron Mines. Then on my Warlock, I got down and started part 2 of the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Ooh, really?
And some of the things were starting to come back to me as I was doing it. So I cleared out the initial area, and then I went into that section where you have to clear out those 8 areas. I don't know if you actually have to clear out all 8 of those areas, but you clear out the 8 areas. So I went into the fire node, cleared out the fire node, picked up the air gem, got to the air node that way. And that's the point where I decided I've run out of time. But that at least gave me an idea of what was in it. Now, the first time I went in there, I forgot to bring a hireling. And I had gotten, I think, about 2 or 3 rooms in. And I said, nope, I'm not going to survive this. So I went back, got a hireling, and then came back and restarted the dungeon. And that went a lot better. Clerics are useful.
A little bit of pocket healing?
Yes.
Clerics always good to have a pocket healer.
Yeah. Okay. So therefore, that's what I did for that. And hopefully I'll be able to have a chance to get back in there and see if I can reach the boss next time and see how fast I get killed.
I can't wait to see you do Zugaboy on your own.
I'm pretty sure that doing it on my own is...
That's going to be pretty entertaining. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, pretty entertaining. Yeah. Well, maybe not for me, because I'm sure I'm going to get whopped to bits by that one. I have a feeling it'll last about 3 seconds or something.
You might last 5 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, I'm still shocked that I survived the boss fight in the other.
That for you, that is pretty impressive because for some reason, and I think I brought this up Wednesday night when we were playing. For some reason, no matter what you're playing, you tend to be very squishy for some reason, and I haven't figured out why you're so squishy. But because I forgot what we were fighting Wednesday night, but I mean, I was barely taking any damage at all, and I'm like the rogue. I'm like up at it, and you're like standing back, just like pinging it with your little chaotic balls or whatever you're shooting as a Phalok. And I'm like, why is your health going down so much? I'm like, I'm the one standing in front of it getting hit in the face. Come on now. So we have learned that Pine Leaf is very squishy.
Well, yeah. Then, let's see. Then on top of that, then I was doing a bit of board gaming this week also, and I'm getting prepared for a video that I'll be doing in probably early July. And in that, I'm playing several games in order to rate the games. It's going to be a top 10 type list. So therefore, I played Fuse, and it was my first time playing Fuse. And of course, the first time you're playing Fuse, you're not quite fast enough, let's just say. So yeah, so it went boom before I finished that up. Then I was playing Ascension. I first played against the AI on a Steam game, and then I played a solo one using actual cards and seeing how I did all that. Of course, against the AI is like squish, 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 squish against the AI opponent. And playing against the game in the solo mode was like whap me on the head. Then I played a game called Rise of the Zombies.
You played a zombie game?
I know, that's a shock.
My mind is just blown at this point right now.
I know, and yeah, I was pretty much ripped apart, which I guess is par for the course for a zombie game. Yeah, the reason why I played that is I got the feel because it uses a system similar to that of a game called Warfighter. And I was just seeing what's it like and how it sort of like to get a feel for the system. So as I was doing that, and Warfighter World War II is currently on Kickstarter, and that's got a couple of days left. So let's see. Then Castellion, where I was playing my first game of that, and
that sounds like a Pine Leaf game.
Yeah, and yeah, I was playing the lowest level of the game, the learning game in that, and I thought I was doing well until the game came. I came to the end of the game and realized that, oh yeah, I missed a couple of objectives there. Oops.
Nope.
So yeah, I'll have to retry that and keep a closer track as to mine. And then I finished it off with a game of Friday, and it was an excellent round of Friday where it all came down to pretty much one card. If I was able to draw one more card without getting killed, then I would have won. But I didn't. So I got all the way through the 3 rounds, got all the way through the first pirate, and was on the last possible card on the second pirate, and just couldn't make it.
Death by RNG.
Well, actually, on the last one, I had in reserve at that point a card that allowed me to look at the top 3 cards in the deck and select the order in which they came in. Unfortunately, that was enough to give me 1 extra turn, but I needed 2 extra turns in order to.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
In order to win it. So I tried to pull out all the stops, but I was just 1 short of what I needed to do. Oh well, but it was an excellent round of the game. We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon, and there you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host with us here on DDO Players News. And this week we have no reviews or featured comments, or not even emails, but if you would like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And you can also join our Steam group. Yes, we have a Steam group that I think we've neglected to mention on a couple of occasions.
We have corrected that now.
Yes, and you can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Ally, DDO Players @DDO Players, Dracula @Dracula_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. And the Players Alliance has 4 live shows Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Players News. Every other Saturday after Locho Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locho Academy After School. You join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And join us next week as we welcome content designer Knockback and community manager Cordovan as our special guests. And I'll see you then. This is Piney Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.